All right, check this out. This is a crazy cool story coming out of South Korea. Where else, right? Samsung, get this. Samsung unveils a switchable, so turning it off and on, a 2D slash 3D display aimed for launch on the Galaxy S28 series smartphones. Galaxy S28, we're on 26. This is 2 years from now, but this is kind of how this stuff unfolds. It takes time, right? So let's jump into the details. Samsung's newly unveiled display tech could offer glasses free 3D viewing on the Galaxy S28 Ultra. The official press release itself confirms the potential adoption of the new screen technology in phones, tablets, and other devices. A newly published paper details Samsung's focus is on a new display technology built around something called metasurface lenticular lens. Instead of relying on traditional lenticular layers, Samsung uses nanoscale structures to precisely control light and how it is directed towards your eyes. The system can switch between standard 2 definition and immersive 3 definition using voltage control and how much power goes to each LED. The display adjusts polarization states in real time. Users can toggle depth effects on demand. Samsung claims a viewing angle of up to 100 degrees, which is roughly 6 times wider than older glasses-free 3D implementations. Everybody remembers the Nintendo 3DS? You remember how, if you have kids, I'm sure you've seen one every now and then. It was a 3D effect, but it was really on a obscure level. Like it just kind of missing something. It was 3D, but it wasn't impressive. I think this is going to be very, very impressive. This eliminates the rigid head positioning that killed earlier attempts, kind of with the 3DS. You had to be looking at it at a specific angle. You're no longer locked into a narrow zone where the effect works, right? You can move naturally. You can share the screen. Hey, look at this. Oh, look at this picture. Oh, look at this video. And the 3D holds up. The entire optical layer comes in at just 1.2 millimeters thick. Now, this approach of the South Korean tech giant fits into modern OLED stacks without forcing any major redesigns and or trade-offs. That's the impressive thing. They can essentially slip it right on in and keep it moving. The team has already tested the concept on real OLED panels using fabricated 50 millimeter by 50 millimeter meta lens. The timing of this announcement in Samsung's newly discovered display tech lines up with the launch of the S28 series generation devices, especially as Samsung continues to push the display differentiation beyond brightness, refresh rate, and a privacy screen. This also opens doors for the Galaxy Z Fold lineup. How cool would that be? Of course, there's tablets, the Tab S series, monitors, computer monitors, even TVs, large TVs, where large screen real estate makes depth effects more meaningful for gaming, media, movies, multitasking. If Samsung gets this right, glasses-free 3D will not feel like a gimmick anymore. Let's just hope Samsung doesn't screw this up with the display while trying to implement something new like they did this year with the introduction of the privacy display, which was met with a boatload of customer complaints. The question I have is if Samsung is going to try to combine the privacy display, which would be, I guess, in its 3rd generation at that point with the S28 series, and they also include the anti-reflection layer in this 3D technology all rolled up into one display. Let's hope they can get it right. Sounds like a tall task, but let's be honest. If anybody can do it, Samsung can do it. We'll keep an eye on this developing story for you. This sounds incredibly awesome. I'm kind of skeptical with this. It sounds so cool, so realistic, and it sounds like where phone tech is headed into the future. I just hope we don't hit a speed bump or two on the way to that future tech. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like with this privacy display. Now, I think Samsung will, with this privacy display, let's move into the S27 series a year from now. So you'll have the privacy display in 2.0, basically second generation. So, 1 year is a long time in the tech world, and it gives Samsung R&D and the people in the lab an extra year to refine things, make things smaller, use less power. I think they'll get the combination of the privacy display and the anti-reflection. I think that'll be back on track to where it was before. I think the S27 series, like let's just say the S27 Ultra, I think will have a much better display than the S26 Ultra. Remember, with the S27 Ultra, we know now that they're going to use their very latest, the M16 OLED panel. So it looks like no more Samsung using their own 2 or 3 year old technology, display technology, meaning OLED panels in their phones. The S27 is going to get the very latest and greatest, newest OLED panel that they produce. Pixel's going to use it. iPhone's going to use it. So with that new M16 OLED panel combined with the new or modified and or upgraded privacy display, along with the anti-reflective technology on there, I think rolling into the S28 series, I think they have a potential of doing something neat here with this 3D display. However, here's the thing. It's like a really touchy subject with me because, and I know with a lot of people, because it sounds really freaking cool. Like it puts a smile on my face, but I don't want them to mess. I don't want them to, it's like, what is that? You take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, right? It's like, yeah, you got something cool on there, but it messes up what we all love about Samsung phones in the first place, which was their vivid, super bright, super QHD AMOLED displays, right? That's what I love the most about Samsung phones were their displays. They just visually look awesome. And it looks like they took a step back with this S26 Ultra and the privacy display. I just hope we don't get to this point 2 years from now. You see what I'm saying? If I had to bet on it, probably will. Let's be honest. Yeah, they can introduce something cool, but it's like, how many of y'all, and I really wonder, how much would we use a 3D display? Quite honestly. One thing I can tell you for sure I would use it on, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't have my 3D display on all the time, because the way that this is being described is it's literally going to be an option in your display settings. Like with the privacy display, you can turn it on or off. I'm not going to be keeping this 3D display on and using, it's probably going to chew through your battery too, but I'm not going to be rocking a 3D display, my entire screen on time. My specific case is probably watching sports, to be quite honest with you. Now, this is very early. We don't know. It could be like, how the 144 hertz refresh rate, they sure do advertise that a lot, but the fine print says the 144 hertz only works with a handful of apps. And then it just, with all the other apps, which is like 98% of the phone, it scales down to 120, right? So I wonder if this new 3D technology is only going to be available in its early years for a handful of applications, or is it going to be available for the entire phone? Now, the way it looks is it'll be available for the entire phone, because upon first thought, like with the 144 hertz refresh rate, the app developers have to go into the back end of their app and modify code to enable the 144 hertz within their specific application. With this display, it sounds like it's not an app thing, it's a visual thing, meaning they can manipulate the light and how you see it. So no matter what you display on your phone, they can manipulate that into a 3-dimensional image. So sports would be badass, like watching the Chiefs game on a Sunday in 3D. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go out and buy a nice big Samsung tablet for that. Now it's gonna introduce in the S28 series, and then so when would the S28 come out? The S28 would come out. So if we're in 2026 with the 26 S26. The 28 would come out in 2028, and then I think you would see them put that display tech not in every model, right? It's just going to be in the S26, S28 Ultra, right, or the Pro when that comes. It's probably just going to be in the Galaxy Tab. What are we on? 11, 12, 13 Ultra. It'll just be in the Ultra version of the tablet, and it'll probably be on a select number of other devices. Z Fold, I can see that. A couple of TVs, a couple of monitors. It'll slowly start rolling out to other devices, but sounds pretty cool. I just hope, obviously, they can implement this without the display taking a hit elsewhere. So we'll definitely have to see how this works out. I know these companies, you remember when that 3D fad was out for a TV, I have a big monitor right here. Do you remember when the 3D TV was big, maybe 10 years ago? Oh, and everybody was buying 3D TVs. It wasn't really that good. Some even had to have put glasses on to see. Remember those like 3D movie glasses that were like paper and plastic you had to put on? This would not be that. This is apparently the real deal, and it would look fantastic in 3 dimensions. So I can't wait to see this. This is exactly what I love about technology. Stuff like this, gets me all giddy inside and feel like a little kid. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, I do, I'm kind of holding back my emotions because I know the way this privacy thing went, again, it's probably going to take a year or two for them to really nail it. So, but good news is that we have that to look forward to here in the near future. Because if this is coming out in 2 years, imagine what we're going to have in 5 years. That is insane to think about. So, all right. Well, my phone just auto played. So just has me excited for what we have in the near future. If this is coming out in a couple years, imagine what we're going to have in 5 years. So if this stuff puts a smile on your face too, if you love technology like I do, subscribe to the eSIMstudios YouTube channel. I got this covered. I'm going to be covering this for everybody, so we can be all up to date with what we have to look forward to in the tech world. Appreciate the time as always. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. The eSIMstudios YouTube channel is sponsored by Lyca Mobile. With the economy the way it is at the moment, everybody is looking to cut down on their expenses. One of the largest expenses is your wireless carrier services bill every month. What if I told you you could only pay as little as $7.50 per month on your wireless bill? You'd probably think it would come with a bunch of fine print and restrictions, right? Well, guess what? It doesn't. Lyca Mobile offers 18 gigabytes of high-speed 5G data per month with unlimited talk and text to over 100 countries for just $7.50 per month. You want to go all the way unlimited? Well, that plan, guess what, is only $17 per month. It's absolutely incredible, right? Lyca Mobile uses the same towers and networks the big named carriers use, so you can enjoy nationwide coverage and a strong data connection no matter where you're located in the United States. It's all possible with Lyca Mobile. The discounted promo link is down below in the description box.